Thank you very much, Pee Wee, and hello again, everybody. A beautiful baseball afternoon. The breeze now, remember, is blowing towards right field. It should help the left-handed batter. Jim Lonborg, Lonborg, just 24 years old, and this fella's arrived in a hurry. Lonborg, tall and rangy, nice, easy, fluid pitching motion. A Southern California boy. This is his third season with the Red Sox. He started in professional baseball only 3 years ago at Winston-Salem. He won 6 and he lost 2 there. At Seattle, part of that season, he won 5 and lost 7. Then with the Red Sox, in 65, he won 9, lost 17. Last year, he was a 500 pitcher at 10 and 10, and this year he blossomed into one of the best pitchers in the American League. In fact, he paced all pitchers with a 22 victory total, losing only 9. There goes Elston Howard's throw down to second base, and we're all set to go. Here comes Lou Brock. Brock, who had 4 out of 4 yesterday, stole 2 bases, scored both runs, was on base 5 times in a row. The ballpark here at Fenway is jam-packed. Brock steps into the batter's box. He loves to hit the first ball. The Red Sox have a good book on the Cardinals. They know all about these hitting tendencies. But even knowing about them sometimes doesn't help you. Here's Lonborg getting set. Elston Howard is giving the signal. The outfield straight away. And Lonborg into the windup, the first pitch of the ball game. High and inside, it spun him away. There's no way that Brock could hit the first ball today. That was almost like a purpose pitch, as if to say, you're not going to get any toe hold on me. Lonborg delivers now, and here's the pitch. And it's a strike call. The slider caught the outside corner as Brock shortened up as if to bunt. I think Lonborg led the American League in hitting batters. He did with 19. Here's the pitch on the way. Way outside. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. Howard. Lonborg has experience behind the plate today in Elston Howard, a veteran of a number of World Series with the Yankees. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on, nobody out. The game has just started. The pitch. Boom! And he missed strike 2. And boy, he blew that ball by him. A lightning fastball at the knees that time. Brock had a good cut and missed. And the count is evened up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Brock strikes out quite a bit, 109 times during the regular season. But he does a lot of everything. A lot of hits, a lot of runs, a lot of stolen bases. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch to the left-hand batter. Line drive right to the shortstop. Brock line to touch the Philly. And so that's 1 away, and he almost had himself another hit, Pee Wee.
Yes, he did, Harry. And you're talking about that first pitch to Mr. Brock, the purpose pitch. Lonborg says when he became a real good pitcher this year, Sal Magley, the pitching coach of the Red Sox, taught him to come inside with that fastball. Make those hitters respect you.
Here now is Kurt Flood, and the first pitch is a curveball. He too shortened up as if to butt and took it outside. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, and nobody on. The ball game has just started. Second game in the World Series at Fenway Park, Boston. Here's the pitch by Lonborg. Swung, ground ball to the third baseman, fumbles it, picks it up, fumbles it around, picks it up, throws. Still gets him at first base. Kurt Flood had to get a bad start away from the plate as Dalton Jones fumbled the ball, reached for it, wasn't able to pick it up, reached for it again, and then threw perfectly to George Scott and barely beat Kurt Flood for out number 2. Well, 2 up, 2 down. The Red Sox already are ahead of yesterday. And at this time yesterday, Brock was at second base with 1 out. So here's Maris, 2 out and nobody on base for pitch. Curveball low and outside. 1 ball, no strike. A hazy sort of a day at Fenway today. Big crowd on hand. 75-degree weather. Here's the pitch. High pop foul back and out of play. That evens it up with a ball and a strike. 2 men are out. Nobody on base. Top half of the first inning, no score. Al Barlick, the plate umpire. Elston Howard talking to him at the moment. Joe Schultz coaching at third base. Dick Sisler at first base for the Redbirds. Jerry Adair is playing Maris way back on the grass, practically in right field. Here's the pitch on the way. He swings at a curve and he misses. He took something off on his curveball, and he had Maris way out in front. Real good pitch that time. 2 strikes and a ball, 2 outs. Top half of the first inning. Cepeda kneeling in the on-deck circle. Here's Lonborg's pitch. Pops up. Maris hits a high pop fly. Adair backing out into right field. Tartabull coming in. Tartabull makes the catch. At the last moment, Adair got out of his way. Nothing across for the Cardinals in the top of the first. So at the end of the top half of the first inning, St. Louis nothing, Red Sox nothing.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Hi, I'm upstairs. I'll be down in a minute.
Okay.
Have a good day?
Oh, yeah, horrible.
Yeah, I like the job again, huh?
Yeah.
I bought some new super king-size Winston cigarettes today. They're on the table in the hall.
In the gold and red pack?
That's right, great taste.
It's not how long you make it, it's how you make it long.
We took our son to the dentist today.
What happened?
20 new cavities.
Ouch. Wowee. Well, I can't find the money.
Oh, listen, John, maybe they're in the table on the other side of the living room.
What's the table doing over there? What'd you do, rearrange the furniture again?
No, John, I always keep the table over there.
John?
Yeah.
Cynthia?
Mr. Fredericks, are you in the wrong house again?
Tastes good.
Good.
Just
Good.
This is Harry Caray with Pee Wee Reese from Fenway Park, Boston. We go into the bottom half of the first inning, no score. The Cardinals went down in order in their innings. You know, Lonborg went to Stanford University, obtained a BA degree in biology, and I must say he dissected the Cardinal hitters in that first inning pretty well. Here's Tartabull, left-handed hitter. The first pitch he bunts down the third base line, foul. 1 strike and no ball. Nobody on and nobody out. We go into the bottom half of the first inning. Leadoff man Jose Tartabull, who hit .223 during the regular season. He used to be with Kansas City. He had no homers, 10 RBIs. Very fast. He's from Cuba. Straddles that plate waiting. Now the pitch. Hughes throws a fastball foul tip. Tartabull, 29 years old, 165-pounder. Stands 5'11", a little fellow, looks smaller than that. 2 strikes, no ball. Dick Hughes, without a windup, delivers. Fastball, low and outside. 2 strikes and a ball. I understand the Red Sox scouting report on Hughes indicated just an average fastball. Here's the pitch. Hung on, high pop fly, right field. Roger Maris coming in a few feet, under the ball, waiting. He's got it, 1 gone. Tartabull fly to Maris and right. I was going to say, Pee Wee, that if that's so, the Red Sox might be surprised a little bit because this fellow's got better than an average fastball.
I would think so. And I think another thing we should watch for today, Harry, is that the third baseman, Mike Chan, I think he has the reputation of not being a real good fielding third baseman. They may try a few bunts and see how he looks down there.
Here's Dalton Jones, had 1 out of 4 yesterday. Left-handed batter to pitch, way outside. Dalton Jones hit .289 during the season. Had 3 homers, drove in 25 runs. 1 out and nobody on. The ball game, bottom of the first, no score. Dick Hughes pitch. He had a good cut, and he fouled it back, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Yeah, it was indicated yesterday and again today that these Red Sox hitters, they didn't have too much success perhaps yesterday, but there's nothing tight about them. They're swinging that bat. Jones just had a real good cut. Here's the pitch on the way. He swings and he misses strike 2. 2 strikes and a ball. 1 man out. You'll see teams in the World Series sometimes, and their hitters are quite obviously tight. They're not getting their normal swing. But that's not true of the Red Sox at all. They're getting their cut. Here's the pitch. He foul tips it, and again he had a real good swing of the slider. In on him. The count, 2 strikes and a ball, 1 out. Nobody on, bottom of the first. Nothing ever changes. Orlando Cepeda always converses with anybody within reach around first base during the regular season, is doing likewise with the umpire today. Here's a pitch low. He's talking with Frank Humon down there. Orlando, a very gregarious, friendly soul, loves to chatter. Reminds you a little bit in that respect of Yogi Berra. 2-2 pitch on the way. Here it is to Jones. He foul-tipped the curveball back. Again, he had a good cut. And the count stays even. Bobby Dorr coaching at first base. Ed Popowski at third base. The outfield for the Cardinals straight away. A beautiful afternoon at Fenway Park, Boston. Second game of the 1967 World Series. Cardinals leading 1-0. Here's the pitch to Jones. Foul back. And the count stays. 2 balls, 2 strikes. I don't know whether that got our colleagues on the television side or not. Kurt Gowdy and Ken Coleman. The foul ball was headed in that direction. Cardinals went down in order in their first inning. First man up here for the Red Sox flied out. Dalton Jones is the batter. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the left-hand hitter. Here's the pitch. He struck him out swinging. He just blew that ball by him. And Dalton Jones goes down swinging. That's 2 out. Listen to the hand for Carl Yazstrzemski. Carl Yazstrzemski, who did it all this past season. Just a tremendously fabulous, perfect ball player. 2 men are out. You know, a lot of baseball people compare Yazstrzemski right now. Here's the pitch to him. And it's a slanter high. To Stan Musial in his prime. He's the same type of ball player. Does everything so well. And maybe even hits with a little more power. Here's a pitch on the way. Slow curve outside. 2 balls, no strikes. I don't believe Gibson at any time yesterday threw any off-speed pitch to Yazstrzemski. It was all fast stuff. And Hughes surprised me on that pitch. Because his change is not one of his better pitches. But he did dare throw it to Yazstrzemski, but it was high. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch. There's a drive. If it stays fair, it'll be gone. Foul ball. Yazstrzemski got out in front. Hit that ball a mile, but foul. And that brought a roar from the crowd. 2 balls and a strike.
Harry, I don't know what that pitch was, but I don't think you better throw it anymore.
Whatever it was, he should throw it away, huh? Pee Wee, here it is now. 2 balls and a strike, low and inside. 3 balls, 1 strike on the left-hand hitter, Yazstrzemski. 2 men are out in the bottom of the first, no score. The Cardinals got out in front first yesterday. The Red Sox tied it. The Cardinals then won it in the 7th. Let's see how it'll go today. 3 balls and a strike. 2 out and nobody on. Hughes gets set. Dick was hit for 22 home runs during the National League season. Jim Lonborg, pitching for the Red Sox, was touched for 23 home runs during the regular season. So we're liable to see a long ball or 2 today. 3 balls and a strike on Yazstrzemski, who holds that bat high. Here's the pitch. He had a cut and he missed. Did you hear the reaction of the crowd? That's when you've arrived as a star. When you swing and miss, you get the same kind of a reaction. A very audible one, as you do when you hit one out of the ballpark. That's what you call the tribute to greatness. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Only fellas like Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Stan Musial, Ted Williams, Willie Mays. Those are the guys that the crowd, when they swing and miss, react as much as when they hit the ball out of the ballpark. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Yazstrzemski up there. No score. Bottom of the first. Dick Hughes against Jim Lonborg. Here's the pitch. It hits his bat and goes foul. He didn't mean to swing. He had started. The pitch was bad, low and inside. It hit his bat and went foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yazstrzemski was hitless yesterday, you know, against Gibson. He was 0 for 4. Playing in his first World Series. Now the sign. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hughes pitch. He foul-tipped it back, and what a riffle he had. Yazstrzemski went around with everything on that pitch, but fouled it off. A handsome young man. Went to Notre Dame, you know. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Now the signal. Dick Hughes gets set. shakes off 2 signs with his glove. Yazstrzemski gets out of the batter's box. Sometimes they're really shaking the pitch off, and other times they're just trying to psych the hitter to make him wonder what in the world does he want to throw to me. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch by Hughes. Again, he shakes it off with his glove. Hughes usually pitches much more quickly, and this too might be a tribute to Yazstrzemski. Dick Hughes ordinarily is one of the quickest workers in baseball. He and Gibson are almost identical with the speed with which they throw. Pee Wee, I know you'll want to comment, but I don't want to miss this pitch. Here it is, 3-2. Ball 4, he wants it.
Well, Harry, I was sitting here watching Tim McCarver, and I think they were playing a game with Yazstrzemski. They were trying to make him wait and upset him. McCarver would wiggle his glove, and Dick Hughes would wiggle his glove. I think they knew what they wanted to throw him, but as you said, they just wanted to try to needle him a little bit, and Yazstrzemski kept backing out of there.
Well, that brings up George Scott now. He was a good hitter yesterday with 2 out of 3. He was a fine hitter during the regular season with a .303 average, 19 homers. Yazstrzemski lead the throw over. He's back standing up. George Scott, 19 homers, 82 runs batted in. Look at the lead by Yazstrzemski. Quick throw, but he's back. Throws a little high. Yazstrzemski, a running start off first base. Here's Hughes' pitch. Scott takes a fastball low. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 men are out, a runner at first base. The first base runner of the ball game. We're in the bottom of the first inning at Fenway Park. The second game of the World Series. The action shifts to St. Louis Saturday afternoon. Here's the stretch, the pitch. He had a cut and he missed. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 men are out. You can tell the way these Red Sox hitters swing that bat why they score a lot of runs. Why they did during the American League season. Here's the stretch. The pitch. Curveball is high. And the count. 2 balls and a strike. Dick Hughes appearing in his first World Series game. After a checkered minor league career, all of a sudden, here he is. The stretch pitch. A little bit wide. And it's ball 3. 3 balls. And a strike. Dick Hughes, born in Stevens, Arkansas, lives around Shreveport. Scoreless game. Yazstrzemski, the only base runner so far with a walk, is at first base. 3 balls, 1 strike on George Scott, big right-handed batter. Here's the pitch. Strike 2 call. So now Yazstrzemski will be going with the pitch. Dick Hughes' career started in towns like Keokuk, Winnipeg, Winston-Salem, Tulsa, Portland, Atlanta, York. Here's the stretch. The pitch. There goes a runner. Swung and fouled out. And the count remains 3-2. I mentioned York, Jacksonville, Toledo. And finally, the tail end of last season, he came up with the Cardinals. And now here he is pitching in the World Series after his first full year in the National League. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yazstrzemski will be going. And the pitch, there he goes. He struck him out. A slider. And Scott went down swinging. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 1 inning. St. Louis nothing, Boston nothing. When this World Series is over, can winter be far behind? No, it won't be long now before your car has to battle ice and snow. So why not get it into shape for the off-season now with snow tires from B.F. Goodrich? They're built tough to drive one through the tightest defense winter can muster. BFG Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires have a husky modern tread that really digs in, takes off sure, and stops just as surely. Trailmaker's deep biting edges pull you through. Tough 4-ply nylon cord construction means more safe driving miles. And Trailmakers never shout their own praises. They run quiet on wet or dry roads. Steel safety studs? Sure, if you want them. So get on down to your B.F. Goodrich dealer and get your car decked out for winter driving. Open a BFG Choice Charge account.
and you won't have to plunk a penny down. B.F. Goodrich Trailmakers Silvertown Snow Tires. Only at your B.F. Goodrich store or dealer. We go into the top of the second. The Red Sox have had the only base runner. With 2 out, Yazstrzemski walked, but George Scott fanned on a 3-2 pitch. So Hughes has struck out 2 in his first inning, as did Bob Gibson 2 in his first inning yesterday. The commissioner of baseball, William D. Eckert, entertaining a war hero here today. Here's Orlando Cepeda. Lonborg's first pitch. Curveball outside and high. Cepeda hitless yesterday. Batted .325 during the regular season. 25 home runs, 111 runs batted in. Led the league in that RBI. They play Cepeda straight away indeed. He hits the ball to all fields with power. Here's the pitch. Swung at a fastball and he missed. Lonborg jammed him. That's where pitchers try to pitch Cepeda. But you better have plenty of mustard on that fastball, high and tight. If it isn't a real good fastball, you'll hit it out of sight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cepeda leading off. Here's the pitch. There's a high pop fly in the left field. Yazstrzemski under the ball, and he's got it. Cepeda hit a high, towering but short fly ball to left field. And Yazstrzemski caught it handily. That wind, Pee Wee, might be even stronger than we suspect from the way that ball acted.
Well, it's a very tough play. The infielders had to really watch the ball, especially around the stands over here. It really comes back in, and you have to stay right with it all the way.
Here's Tim McCarver, the pride of Memphis, Tennessee. 1 out and nobody on. McCarver hitless yesterday with nothing out of 3. Lonborg getting set. Into the windup he goes. The pitch on the way to the left-hand hitter, and he started to swing, held up a curveball low. 1 ball, no strikes. McCarver, who never alibis, but just in discussion, was saying that he had difficulty picking the ball up at the plate yesterday, that somehow he just couldn't quite see the ball. 1 ball, no strike. Here's the pitch. And it's high and outside, ball 2. I like this Lonborg's fluid pitching motion. He's really loose out there, and has an effortless way of handling himself. 2 balls, no strikes. 1 out and nobody on. McCarver the hitter. No score. We're in the top of the second with 1 out. The pitch on the way. Ground ball to the first baseman, Scott. He's got it. The pitcher's going to cover. He is out from Scott to Lonborg. You had an example there of McCarver going down the line, probably one of the fastest running catchers in baseball. It's rare when a catcher can run. McCarver has better than average speed, even though he is a catcher. Here's Mike Shannon. He had 2 hits yesterday. Lonborg has retired the first 5 men that he has faced. And there is no score. There's been only 1 base runner. That was Yazstrzemski on a walk. Here's the pitch. Shannon started a swing, held up. Curveball caught the corner. And he looks back to talk to Al Barlick. Al Barlick, a dean of National League umpires. Now to wind up the pitch. It's a curve, a dandy, strike 2, and boy, he snapped one out that time. Lonborg with a good, sharp, overhanded curveball. And he's ahead of Shannon, 2 strikes, no ball. 2 out. Nobody on base. Javier would be next. Lonborg gets set. The pitch on the way. Here it is. Sidearm, swung, bouncing ball to Dalton Jones, but it's foul. Fields it behind the bag on the foul side. There are 2 men out. The Cardinals so far have had no hits and no runs. The Red Sox so far have had no hits and no runs. The Red Sox have had 1 man reach base on a pass. That's the whole story in a nutshell, as it were. On a balmy day at Fenway Park in Boston. There's no way you can have this kind of weather in Boston at this time of the year. All the writers from all over the country. Here's the pitch on the way. Shannon struck him out. Had a cut and missed. Shannon goes down swinging. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. And at the end of an inning and a half, St. Louis nothing, Boston nothing.
Now Romeo said, Julie, baby, our little compact is a bust. I've been down to see the Dodge boys. They got a man-sized dart for us. Dart giveth fever, Dodge fever. We're the sleek shade fever that's got everyone. Fever, you're gonna love it. That's why Dart is #1. You get the fever, Dodge fever. You get the fever, Dodge fever.
Dodge Dart, America's largest selling 6-passenger compact. See and drive Dart today at your nearby Dodge dealers. And while you're there, pick up your free copy of Joe Garagiola's World Series scorebook at all participating Dodge dealers. We go to the bottom of the second, and Reggie Smith will lead it off. Reggie had 1 out of 3 yesterday, laid down a hit. 84 degrees. Tony Kubek informs me as he takes his jacket off. Here's the pitch to left-hand hitting Reggie Smith, a curveball outside. I started to mention riders from all over who are covering the series naturally expected cool weather in Boston. All have heavy clothes, yours truly included. The pitch swings and he misses. But we have had perfect midsummer type weather at Fenway Park these 2 days. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reggie Smith, who hit .246 during the regular season. Left-handed batter with great speed. Dick Hughes is set. The delivery now. He had a cut and he missed. 2 strikes and a ball. Bob Gibson fanned 10 yesterday for the Cardinals. Dick Hughes looks down. He wears glasses. He has his sign. Now the pitch. Here it is. High pop foul coming back. Here's McCarver. Might have a play. He's under the ball. He takes it. Reggie Smith fouls to McCarver. 1 away. And here comes Adair. Jerry Adair. The second baseman. An Oklahoma boy. A basketball star at Oklahoma State under our good friend Hank Iba. Right-handed batter, the pitch. Bouncing ball, Shannon to his right. Foul ball, though. 1 strike and no ball. Adair hit .273 during the regular season with 3 homers and 35 runs batted in. Hitless in 4 trips yesterday. Striking out 2 times. Right-handed hitter. Here's Hughes getting set. The pitch. There's a drive. Deep left field. Brock going back. He leaps. He makes the catch. Lou Brock leaps high against the left field wall. And between Yazstrzemski and Brock, you wonder what you have to do to get a base hit in left field. A great play, robbing Adair of extra bases.
He cleans up the ballpark after we're through, Harry.
2 men are out. And here's Rico Petrocelli, the shortstop, right-hand hitter, swings, hits a high pop foul back and out of play. 1 strike and no ball. Brock went right to the base of the Green Monster that time, to the left of the scoreboard, leaped high and came down with that ball. 2 men are out. Here's the pitch. Fastball high inside. I guess he said as he threw the ball back to the infield, Pee Wee. There you are, Yaz. You're not the only guy who can do that. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out, nobody on. Petrocelli, the hitter, the delivery. Curveball in there, a beauty at the knees. There's every hitter's all-American weakness. That sharp-breaking curveball on the outside corner at the knees. 2 strikes and a ball. The pitch. Just barely missed that same corner with the same kind of a curveball. And the count evens on Petrocelli. He hit .259 during the regular season with 17 homers. Swirl of dust causes the game to be delayed for a moment. Petrocelli steps back into the batter's box. Neither team has had a hit in this ball game yet. No hits, no runs. The pitch, high fastball, ball 3. That's the 3rd hitter that Hughes has had a full count on. One he walked, Yazstrzemski. The other one, Scotty struck out, and now let's see what he's going to do with Petroselli. 2 men are out, nobody on base. Hughes gets set. Shakes off a sign with his glove. Here's the pitch. There's a line drive base hit. Petroselli lined the single past Shannon, who dove in vain for that ball. So Petroselli is on with a solid single in the left field, and Tim McCarver goes out to talk to Hughes. As I mentioned, the first hit of the ball game, a line single. Mike Shannon left his feet in a headlong dive, but couldn't reach it.
Harry talking about Tony Kubek. Tony Kubek and I was standing back here yesterday after the game was over, no hurry to go anyplace, and we saw something we'd never seen before. The Red Sox came out after everyone had gone and took batting practice. And Rico Petroselli was one of them, and I said, Rico, did you learn anything yesterday? He said, yes, I did, Pee Wee. I think my stance was too much closed. I'll open up. I think I'll get some hits today. Well, he did.
Here's Elston Howard. First pitch, swung on, fly ball, deep center. Under the ball, Flood. He's going to get it near the track. He's got it. And that retires the side. Elston Howard on the first pitch hit a towering fly ball. No runs, one hit, no errors, one left. At the end of 2 innings, the score, St. Louis nothing, Boston nothing.
Hi, this is Malcolm Meany. Maybe you don't recognize my name, but you know my face right away. I always play the bad guys in the movies. I had this real heavy beard. I looked mean as anything. Whenever I came on the screen, people always said, hey, what's that guy's name again? Well, his name was Malcolm Meany, because that was me. And right now, I, Malcolm Meany, would like to register a complaint against the Gillette Razor Company. They came out with their super stainless blade, the spoiler, and I've been out of work ever since. You see, that blade has a miracle plastic coating on the edge that reduces the pull when you shave. So I tried the spoiler, and I got to like it so much I would shave all the time, and I became clean-shaven. Well, you can't be a bad guy if you're clean-shaven, and I'm not the type to be a good guy. So I've been out of work for a long time. Of course, my private life has picked up. I'm getting a lot of girls. I never got girls before. But where can you take a girl when you've got no money?
Well, we're going to the top half of the third inning of this ball game here at Fenway Park. Harry Caray and I'm Pee Wee Reese bringing you the second game of the World Series. No score in this ball game, the top half of the third. Come on in, Harry.
All right, here's Juli Javier, who had 2 out of 4 yesterday. Hit .281 during the regular season. Very fast, can hit the ball with power. The windup by Lonborg, and here's the pitch. There's a ground ball to short. Petroselli up. There's the peg. He should get him. He does. He's got a green arm. Petroselli throws out Javier. 1 away, and that'll bring up down Maxwell. And Jim Lonborg continues to pitch perfectly. He has retired 7 in a row. Here's Maxwell, hitless in 2 tries yesterday, walked twice. Hit .227 during the regular season. 1 man out, nobody on base. We're in the third. No score. The pitch by Lonborg. Here it is. Line drive to Scott. Maxwell line to the first baseman, Scott, and there's 2 away. There have been 2 balls hit rather well. Maxwell's that time, and Brock leading off line to Petroselli. So here's Dick Hughes. Now, during the regular season, Hughes likes to bunt a lot. He's a pretty good bunter, and he's not really the softest touch in the world as a hitter for a pitcher. He can sting you here and there. Lonborg has retired 8 men in a row. Here's Dick Hughes. The Boston right-hander has his sign and the pitch. Swings and he fouls it back. 1 strike, no more. Hughes works very quickly, and so does Lonborg. We had a 2-hour, 22-minute ball game yesterday, and the way this one's rolling along, it might be even quicker today. Here's the pitch. And it's a strike 2 call. Over the inside corner, just below the letters. 2 men are out, nobody on base. The outfield plays Hughes very shallow in right. medium in the other two fields. The pitch. He struck him out. Sidearm curve. And it's 1-2-3 again. Nothing across. At the end of 2.5 innings, the Cardinals nothing, the Red Sox nothing.
Well, how about that?
Well, how about what?
I forgot my cigarettes.
Oh, yeah? Tell you what. Then try one of mine.
Try one of yours?
Try one of mine. Have a Salem.
I think I will.
Salem is the menthol cigarette that refreshes your taste for you. Salem is the menthol cigarette all of Americans turn to. When you buy a menthol cigarette, don't take anything but the best. Salem is the menthol cigarette, the one brand that outsells all the rest.
Try one of mine.
Turn to Salem for a taste that's springtime fresh.
Fenway Park. Harry Caray and Pee Wee Reese. We're bottom half the third inning. No score in this ball game. Jim Lonborg, the pitcher, the first hitter. And he's not a bad hitter either, Harry.
Yeah, no, he can swing that bat. He's helped himself on a number of occasions, Pee Wee, and he leads it off here in the third inning. And remember the game that won the pennant for the Red Sox? It was Lonborg who started it all with a safe bunt. He swings and he misses the first pitch, strike one. Shannon, the Cardinal third baseman, is playing even with the bag. One strike, no ball, the pitch. A fastball a little bit low. And the count is even at a ball and a strike. The sun has gone hiding behind a cloud at the moment. One ball, one strike. Here's a pitch by Hughes. He swings and misses a fastball. Strike two. Maris is playing medium right field. Flood shades him over towards right. Brock is far across in left center. Now the signal. Two strikes and a ball on the right-handed batter, the pitch. He struck him out swinging. Lonborg becomes the third strikeout victim for Dick Hughes. And boys, we got a pitching duel going on here today between two young men appearing in their first World Series game. 24-year-old Jim Lonborg, 29-year-old Dick Hughes. Here's Jose Tartabull. Flat out to right his first time up. Good speed, left-handed batter. Shannon plays him shallow, the pitch. It's a curve in there, a strike is called. One strike and no ball. A capacity crowd, of course. You can get it just about 35,000 into this ballpark. And that's about what they have. Now the pitch. And it's a fastball in there, a strike call. Boy, Hughes had a little mustard on that one. Two strikes, no ball. One out, nobody on. Bottom of the third. There's been only one hit in the ball game, a single by Rico Petrocelli, the Red Sox shortstop. Now the pitch. Here it is. Fastball outside. Hughes has been moving the ball around on Tartabull. Jose Tartabull. Tartabull. Now Hughes gets set. Here's the pitch. He struck him out on a change of pace. Tartabull becomes the fourth strikeout victim. And so, here is Dalton Jones coming up. He fanned his first time. There's two out, nobody on. You know, just checking, Pee Wee, Yazstrzemski is yet to come to bat with a man on base in this World Series. Each time he was up yesterday, the bases were empty. No, I'll take that back. He came up with a man on in the sixth. Here's a slow curve in there to Dalton Jones for a strike call. Dick Hughes suddenly has gone to off-speed pitches here in the third inning. Two men are out, nobody on base. No score, the pitch. Swung on, high pop foul. Over near the stands. Cepeda coming over. But it's out of play. Behind the commissioner's box. A few rows back. And so the count, 2 strikes and nothing on Dalton Jones. The Red Sox third baseman. Left-handed batter. Good hitter, this fella. born in Macomb, Mississippi. This is his 4th year in the American League with the Red Sox. Now the sign. Dalton's just 24 years old. Here's the pitch. Fastball, low and outside. Just barely missed that corner. 2 strikes and a ball. Not too much excitement as yet. And the crowd is just sitting back in anticipation, waiting for the explosion from either one side or the other. 2 strikes, 1 ball. Left-hand batter waits the pitch. High pop fly. Right field. Maris coming in near the foul line, under the ball. He's got it to retire the side. Jones flies to Maris. 1, 2, 3 for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 3rd. And at the end of 3, it's still Cardinals nothing, Boston nothing. If you're swinging for a new set of snow tires this winter, don't be struck out by a fast-selling pitch. Make the sure hit at your straight-talking B.F. Goodrich dealer. Ask him about the BFG Trailmaker Silvertown. It's the hardest-hitting snow tire on the road. A tough competitor that digs in deep to keep you going on ice or through heavy snow. It's tough 4-ply nylon cord with a husky tread and the deepest biting edges in the business. Tough inside, tough outside, yet you'll never hear it growl. It rides quiet on wet or dry roads. Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires have stopping power, too. And if the going gets really skittish, you can have your Trailmakers with steel safety studs. There's no money down with a B.F. Goodrich Choice charge account, and installation is free. So make a hit with power-driving B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown snow tires. Get them now from your straight-talking B.F. Goodrich dealer. We take 30 seconds for station identification.
Your radio has not gone cuckoo. That's merely the sound of Saratoga Vichy and its long-lasting fizz. The story behind that fizz is even stranger than the sound. You see, nature carbonates Saratoga Vichy, giving it a perky little fizz with incredible staying power. It keeps drinks fresh far longer than club soda or any of the imitation Vichy's. Saratoga, the authentic Vichy in the yellow label.
This is WGYWG-FM Schenectady.
Still a Brock, a ground ball, and there, a great backhand stop. The ball, they got it. Beautiful play. Jerry Adair moves to his right. Backhanded play, whirled him through, and got Brock at first base. That brought the crowd roaring to its feet. A sparkling play by the Red Sox second baseman, Jerry Adair. And here now is Curt Flood, 1 out. Lonborg hasn't allowed a base runner. The pitch to the right-handed batter. Curveball outside, he's shortened a bunt. 1 ball, no strikes. 1 out. No score, top of the 4th. Curt Flood, the hitter. Roger Maris would be next. Lonborg working on a perfect game. He's retired 10 in a row. Now the windup, the pitch. He had a cut it, he missed the fastball. And that evens it, a ball and a strike. I'm sure you all recall that there was once a perfect game pitched in World Series competition. Probably the most unbelievable feat of all. Here's the pitch, high and inside. For a pitcher to retire 27 men in a row without anybody reaching base, the odds against that happening must be something like 18 zillion to 1. But Don Larson did it. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, hit it for left field. Petrocelli, up with the ball, throwing. It's going to be close. Out! Big argument around first base. Petrocelli went to his right, came up with the ball. Fired and just got Flood at first base on a close call. And Frank Beaumont. Here's the first beef of the ball game from Curt Flood, who now trots across to the Cardinal dugout. Petrocelli, a fine play and a perfect throw. And he had to have something on it, or there would have been no chance. Here's Maris. The pitch. Curve in there at the knee. Or Lonborg is just as sharp as a man can be. Hitting the corners, keeping the ball down. Has command of his fastball as well as his breaking ball. Let up that time low. And the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men are out. The Cardinals haven't had a base runner. The Red Sox have had only 1 hit. No score in the top of the 4th. Here's the pitch to Maris. That fastball low. And the count, 2 balls and a strike. Roger Maris, who drove in both runs yesterday, in the Cardinals' 2-1 victory over the Red Sox. Roger straddles the plate. Swings that bat around. A home run threat. The pitch. Low inside. Ball 3. And now Lonborg, for the first time, is in danger of losing a man. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Nobody on base. No score. A jam-packed crowd here at Fenway Park. Jim Lonborg. 3 balls and a strike. The big right-hander delivers. High pop foul out of play. Into the stand. And that'll give you a tip-off how fast Lonborg is. With 3-1, Maris was swinging, but he couldn't pull the trigger quite fast enough. He got around late on a fastball and fouled it into the third base stand. 3 balls, 2 strikes. No Cardinal has reached first base yet. Cepeda waiting to hit. He's in the on-deck circle. Maris, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lonborg leaning forward. Here's the pitch. High pop fly in the infield. That'll be easy. Dalton Jones getting under the ball. Now Petrocelli. And Scott was right under him in case he missed it. Maris popped to Petrocelli. 1-2-3, nothing across. At the end of 3.5 innings, it's still Cardinals nothing, Red Sox nothing.
Now Cleopatra said to Tony, this barge we're driving is all wet. Let's go down and see the Dodge boys and trade it for a core and let you get the fever. Dodge fever. When you see it, fever from the swing and style. Fever. When you drive it, fever every single mile. You get the fever. Dodge fever. You get the fever. Dodge fever.
1968 Coronet, a sporty way to cure Dodge fever. Style lively, moves out and rides easy, all for a low price. See it at your Dodge dealers today. And don't forget to pick up your free copy of the Joe Garagiola World Series scorebook at participating dealers. $35,188 today. Slightly larger crowd than yesterday. Here's Carl Yazstrzemski to lead it off in the bottom of the 4th. No score. Dick Hughes gets set. His uniform already drenched with perspiration. It's a muggy day. Here's a pitch. He had a cut and he missed. Oh, does he ever unload when he swings that bat, Pee Wee?
Yes, he does, Harry. And another thing, you're talking about the power of Yazstrzemski may have a little more power than Stan Musial, but up until this year, I think the most home runs he ever hit was 16. He's just acquired this power this year.
That's the way Stan was. Early in his career, he didn't hit many. Here's a pitch swing, and there it goes, way back. It might be out of here. It could be. It is. A home run. Pop that ball out of here. Yazstrzemski, a line drive. Here's Scott. Here's a bouncing ball. Left field, base hit. Scott singles to left. And now the Red Sox getting to Dick Hughes. As Yazstrzemski line one deep into the right field corner at about the 380 mark. Now Scott singles to left, and here's Reggie Smith. This crowd came roaring to its feet. Yazstrzemski has put the Red Sox on the scoreboard in the World Series, just as he did so many times during the regular season. Reggie Smith with a runner at first, nobody out. Dick Hughes, the pitch. It's a fastball sinking low. The Cardinal bullpen stirs. Nobody's actually started to throw yet, but they're starting to move around. Hughes, it's a muggy day. Temperature 84 and it's humid, especially down on the field, and his uniform is soaked with perspiration. The pitch to Smith. High fly ball, left field. Brock going back. Near that fence, he's got room, calling for the ball. He takes it. Here's Scott tagging up at first, but Brock throws and almost overthrows everybody. Threw the ball over Javier's head, and Dick Hughes, halfway between first and second, had a leap. Brock with a strong arm, almost overly strong that time. But Scott was only decoying anyway. So Smith is flat out to Brock. Here's Jerry Adair. He was robbed of an extra base hit on a leaping catch by Brock in the second inning. Carl Yazstrzemski's home run has given the Red Sox the lead. 1-0. Here's a throw to first, Scott back.
Don't be surprised. The Red Sox have the momentum. Jerry Adair can handle the bat. Dick Williams, the manager of the Red Sox, may send George Scott.
The stretch, the pitch. A bouncing ball, got a chance to beat it out down the third base line. Hughes is play. Save! An infield hit for Jerry Adair. So the Red Sox have runners at first and second. Adair, top one. Down the third base line, Hughes made quite an effort. Running over towards the line, picking the ball up on the run. Running away from first base. He had a leap in the air and throw in the other direction. Pulls Cepeda off the bat. Here's Petroselli. He got the first hit of the afternoon. A single in the second inning. There have been 3 hits in this inning. 1 run, a leadoff homer by Yazstrzemski. The score 1-0 Boston. Here's the stretch. The pitch. Petroselli takes a curve at the knee. Larry Jasper, a left-hander for the Cardinals in the bullpen, and Jack LeMay, who used to be a member of the Red Sox, pitched for them for 2 years, is out in the bullpen. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Petroselli the batter. Yazstrzemski led off the inning with a homer. Here's the pitch. He had a cut and he missed. Swung at a bad ball up around his Adam's apple. And the count, 2 strikes. Elston Howard would be next. The Red Sox have taken the lead for the first time in the 1967 World Series. They never led at any time yesterday. They were tied until the 7th. Today they're the first to score. Now the stretch from the belt. Here's the pitch. High pop foul coming back. No play on the screen. And so it's 2 strikes or nothing on Rico Petroselli. Jerry Adair is at first base. George Scott at second base. There's 1 out. Yazstrzemski has already circled the bases with his first homer of this World Series. And what a belt it was. A line drive hit like a shot. 2 strikes, no ball. Now the delivery. Here it is. Low outside. 2 strikes and a ball. Yazstrzemski's line drive, he hit that one like Pee Wee hits the golf ball.
I'm glad you didn't say baseball.
I would have to be truthful, Pee Wee. 2 strikes and a ball. The pitch. There's a high drive foul into the left field corner, out of play. A towering one, too. So it's still 2 strikes and the ball. $35,188 paid this afternoon. $34,796 yesterday. Rico Petrocelli with the Red Sox, leading 1-0. Teammates at first and second. 1 out. The count, 2 strikes and a ball on him. Dick Hughes trying to pitch out of trouble. Now the delivery. High pop foul coming back. McCarver off at the mask. No play. Onto the screen. And the count stays the same. 2 strikes and a ball. The action will switch to St. Louis. The 3rd, 4th, and 5th game, if necessary, will be played in St. Louis Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And then the 6th and 7th games, if necessary, in Boston. Following Wednesday and Thursday. Here's Petrocelli. Runners at first and second, 1 out. The stretch, the pitch. He foul tipped, had a good cut. And he's still alive up there. The pitch that Yazstrzemski lined into the stands looked like it was a slider or fastball to the inside part of the plate. 2 strikes and a ball. 1-0 in favor of Boston. We're in the 4th. Petrocelli wears a helmet with that ear flap on it. Extra protection. Now the signal. Waiting. Dick Hughes gets set. Here's the pitch. Low outside. That evens it up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Larry Jaster and Jack LeMahieu are working out in the bullpen for St. Louis. Jim Lonborg has pitched perfect baseball for 4 innings. He has retired 12 in a row. Runners at first and second. Right-hand batter waits. The 2-2 pitch off the stretch. Here it is. Foul back, and he had a good cut. Petrocelli's a strong little fella. He's small in size, but when you hit 17 home runs and drive in 66 runs, you know you got some power. Rico Petrocelli straddles the plate. Chokes up about an inch on the bat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hughes pitch. And here it is. He struck him out swinging. Chased a bad ball high and inside. And that's the 5th strikeout for Hughes. And here's Elston Howard. Flied out deep to center his first time up. Right-handed hitter. Howard straddles the plate, waits. The pitch. Low curveball outside. Elston was in. 9 World Series with the Yankees. And now in his 10th World Series as a member of the Boston Red Sox. 1 ball, no strikes. The stretch, the pitch. Hot shot on the ground. Great play by Javier. Throws to second. He's out. Sensational play. Howard is robbed of a base hit. And Javier, diving stop, gets up in time to throw to the shortstop for the force out. And it's 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. At the end of 4 innings, the score, Boston 1, St. Louis nothing.
Hello, my name is Timothy Timmon, and I had a terrible experience the other day. I went in to buy a pack of Gillette Super Stainless blades with the Miracle plastic coating on the edge. So I asked the man for Gillette Super Stainless, and he said, they call it the spoiler. I spent all that money to call it the spoiler. Why don't you ask for the spoiler? Why do you come in here and ask for Gillette Super Stainless? Did he scare me? I don't know whether to ask for the spoiler or to go to another store from now on.
And then, while you're at it, why not try a can of new Gillette Foamy Shaving Cream? You know, Gillette packs a mountain of smooth shaving comfort into every can of new Gillette Foamy. You get billows of creamy, rich, foamy lather that really soaks deep down into your beard. Keeps it soft and moist right through your shave. So for a shave as close as this year's American League pennant race, remember, nobody makes a lather like foamy. So moist, so rich, so creamy. Nobody makes a lather like Gillette. Well, boys, we had perhaps one of the greatest plays ever pulled off in World Series competition, with runners at first and second. Elston Howard hit what seemed a sure single to center. Javier reached the ball diving on the grass in short center, and while on his knee, threw just in time to Maxwell for the force out, Pee Wee.
One of the finest plays I've ever seen, and I didn't think he had a chance to get the ball in the only way he did. I just thought he may be able to knock it down, but after he came up with the ball, he still threw the man out.
Here's Cepeda leading off for the Cardinals in the top of the fifth. First pitch in there, strike call. The Red Sox have one run, and the way Lonborg is pitching, it could be enough. The Cardinals haven't had a base runner yet. We're in the top of the fifth. Pitch to Cepeda, swung. Bouncing ball to Dalton Jones. He's got it. He throws to first in time. Cepeda is 0 for 6 now in this World Series. One out, and here's McCarver. And that is 13 men in a row retired by Lonborg. McCarver looking for his first hit of the series. One out, we're in the fifth. 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox. A remarkable play by Julian Javier, the Cardinals second baseman, prevented the Red Sox from maybe breaking the game wide open. McCarver waits. Here's the windup and the fifth. Curveball, strike, caught the corner. One strike and no ball. Lonborg is fan 2. He hasn't allowed a man to reach base. And the totals for the Cardinals read like this up on the board. No runs, no hits, no errors. Now the windup, the pitch. A little tap, foul. Strike 2. McCarver didn't have a very good swing at that one. It was an off-speed type of pitch that fooled him. And the count, 2 strikes, no ball. One out, fifth inning. 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox on Carl Yazstrzemski's home run. Mike Shannon will be up there next for the Cardinals. We're in the top of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play. McCarver was trying to go to the opposite field. And the count, strike 2. No ball. One out. Nobody on. Top of the fifth. 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox. The second game of the World Series. Here's the windup. The pitch. And it's high and outside. 2 strikes and a ball. The Red Sox trying to even up the series. Jim Lonborg, big, good-looking right-hander. A California boy from San Luis Obispo. 2 strikes and a ball. Here's the pitch. High, lazy, pop fly, left field. Yazstrzemski coming over. He's got room, and he makes the catch. McCarver pops to Yazstrzemski in short left field. 2 gone. And here's Mike Shannon. He fanned his first time up on 3 sharp-breaking curveballs. 2 men are out. The score 1-0 Red Sox. A hot day in Boston. Lonborg is very cool out there, though. And here's the pitch. Shannon takes a curve, a strike call. I don't know, Mike hasn't seen anything but a bending ball yet against Lonborg.
Whenever they find out that you can't hit something, they'll keep throwing it. You've proved that you can.
Here's the pitch. A high pop foul back. Out of play as Howard chases it, but it's in the stand. 2 strikes, no ball. Lonborg is forcing Shannon to give up, to give room at the plate. Give way. It's falling away from him. The Red Sox have 1 run, 4 hits, no errors in this ball game, and the Cardinals nothing. They haven't had a man reach base. Yazstrzemski's home run is the ball game as of now. That plus Lonborg's perfect pitcher. 2 men are out, nobody on base. The pitch to Shannon. He struck him out. A curveball. Shannon was ducking out of the way, but the ball was in there for strike 3 call. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. And at the end of 4.5 innings, the score, Boston 1, St. Louis nothing.
It's what's up front that counts. And up front ahead of the filter. Only Winston has the good taste. That comes from Filter Blend. Filter Blend means fine tobaccos for the best taste yet. That's why Winston is America's largest selling cigarette.
Winston's out front, because up front, only Winston has Filter Blend. Choice golden tobaccos specially selected for the best taste in filtered cigarettes.
Lonborg's bat went sailing out of his hands as he swung and missed strike 1. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Red Sox. Hughes pitch. High pop fly. Javier backing out. Maris coming in. Roger takes it for the out. Lonborg pops to Maris. 1 out, and here's Jose Tartabull. The right fielder, he's nothing out of 2 so far. A little fella who can run, likes to bunt, and slash that ball to various fields. He's up there with 1 out and nobody on base in the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 the Red Sox on Carl Yazstrzemski's home run. We don't mean to be redundant, but we realize many people. Here's a pitch swung. Pop foul back out of play onto the roof just above us here. We realize many people at this hour in various parts of the country are perhaps moving in and out of offices, and the score is always of paramount interest. Here's the pitch. Fastball a little bit outside. Jim Lonborg has retired the first 15 men in a row who have faced him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dick Hughes pitch. There's a fly ball, deep center field. Flood back. He's got room. He's waiting. It'll be an easy out. He takes it. Tartabull flies to Flood. 2 men up, 2 men down. Boy, the action is fast today, Pee Wee.
Well, both of these fellows, Dick Hughes and Jim Lonborg, neither one of them takes too much time, and I think that's the way a pitcher should work.
Well, they've both been very successful, so it certainly doesn't hurt them. Here's Dalton Jones. The first pitch is outside. Jones is 0 for 2 in this game, had 1 out of 4 yesterday. 2 men are out, nobody on base. The ball game in the 5th. 1-0. Maybe the Red Sox. The pitch swung, ground ball. Cepeda up nicely. Pitcher covers the toss. He's got it. 1, 2, 3. A good play. Cepeda to Hughes. Nothing across for the Red Sox in the bottom of the 5th. And now at the end of 5, the score remains Boston 1, St. Louis nothing. The guy who can come in off the bench and pinch hit for real power, well, he's the kind of insurance every man likes to have. We mention this because all you grandstand managers are going to need some pinch-hitting power real soon. What with winter just around the corner, you'll probably be changing the lineup on your car and calling in a set of new snow tires. So why not get yourself the toughest pinch hitters in the entire Winter League? B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires. They'll come in cold and hit for power through the heaviest snow. They'll come right down to grips with ice, take off smooth in the most skittish places. They're built with new customized nylon cord, so they can take B.F. Goodrich Trailmaker Silvertown Snow Tires only at your B.F. Goodrich store or dealer. We pause 30 seconds for station identification.
The kind of ginger that goes into Saratoga ginger ale. Why? To make a ginger ale that's different. One you can drink by itself, as well as a mixer. Take a sip, and it's mellow, gingery, without nothing at you. Even the bubbles are different. high-spirited but long-lasting and never overwhelming. The people who make Saratoga Vichy just can't bear to make a ginger ale like everybody else.
This is WGYWG-FM Schenectady. The first 5 innings of this ball game are now history. And the Red Sox have 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. The Cardinals, no runs, no hits, no errors. And what is even more important, Jim Lonborg has a perfect game. As we go into the top of the 6th, he has retired 15 men in a row. Julian Javier will be leading it off for the Cardinals. And now moving in to tell you all about it is the former great shortstop of the Brooklyn Dodgers, Kurt Gowdy's partner on the Game of the Week telecast, and our own good friend, and the man we're happy to be teamed with here on this broadcast, none other than the Louisville Colonel, Pee Wee Reese.
Thank you very much, Harry, and a fine job. Yes, sir, Jim Lonborg, the big, tall right-hander for the Boston Red Sox. He's found a way to stop these Cardinals from running. Yes, sir? Just had letting one reach base. As Harry told you, he has retired 15 men in a row. Julian Javier, the first man to face him here in this first half of the 6th inning. Lonborg kicks that big left leg of his up in the air. Curveball, and he has a dandy today. Call strike 1. Lonborg. He takes that familiar pose on the mound every time. His feet close together. Kind of scoots over a little bit. Real good sinker. He gets ahead of you, he'll come sidearm by the way of third base with that curveball. And he has a dandy, as the Cardinals have found out today. This will be the 2nd time around for the Cardinals in this ball game. And it looks to me like they have not gotten on to Lonborg as yet. There's that curveball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Javier. Leading things off here in the top half of the 6th inning. The score, the Red Sox 1 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. Yes, sir, a home run by Carl Yazstrzemski. Lonborg looking down to his catcher, Elston Howard. Javier, way back in that batter's box. Pokes up on the bat a little bit. Elston Howard giving the sign, moves outside. Here's the pitch. A fastball hit right off the end of the bat over in the Red Sox dugout. We've talked about Lonborg pitching a great ball game. Well, so is Dick Hughes. He's given up 4 hits and 1 run. Lonborg, no runs, no hits, and not a man has reached base. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. Javier. 1 ball, 2 strikes on him. Moves that bat back and forth. Lonborg kicks that big left foot. Curveball, a little high and outside. Makes the count 2-2. The infield is stopped straight away. Outfield not too deep. And Javier up there, he made a great play to save a run, and could have been more. When Elston Howard hit a line shot back through the middle, he dove for it, came up with it, and flipped it to the shortstop. Retiring the side, Lonborg breaking pitch outside. A full count, 3-2. The wind is blowing out to right center. Lonborg taking a little time.
Pee-wee, I believe this is only about the 2nd and 3rd hitter that he's had a long count on.
I was thinking maybe it could have been the first. There's a little lazy fly in the right field. Jose Carnival could have no trouble with it, but he doesn't. Looks like Javier was fooled on that ball. Lonborg on the 3-2 pitch, I believe he sidearm curved him. Javier did not have a good cut. That brings up Dal Maxwell, the shortstop. Maxwell wound out to George Scott, his first time up. Lonborg quickly. Swing. No contact for Maxwell. Lonborg right back up on that rubber. Elston Howard down giving him a sign. Maxwell up close to the plate, chokes up on the bat. Here's the pitch. Curveball in there. Call strike two. And both of these fellows can top that catcher's mitt. It's one away. 2 strikes on Bell Maxwell. Now Lonborg is standing straight up. This side on curveball. Look out. Well, they say that Sal Magley, the pitching coach for the Red Sox, taught this fellow to be a little vicious. And by vicious, I mean not try to really hurt a batter, just to come inside. Keep that hitter honest. If you ever have a chance to see Lonborg, he's a big, handsome-looking fellow. As the pitch is high and outside. Ball 2. And he doesn't look mean. Now, when we used to see that Magley pitch for the Giants, he needed a shave and he looked rough. And we get on that mound, he was rough. Lonborg does not look rough. You better believe he is. He won 22 games this year. Maxwell hits one back through the middle. Yazstrzemski cuts over in front of it. Oh, it's a drive shot. Yazstrzemski, who did not touch the ball yesterday in the field, or at bat, really, having a fine day today, made a couple of great plays. We have seen some good plays. Jerry Adair made a good play at second base. Javier at second base for the Cardinals. Dick Hughes is the hitter, the pitcher. Elson Howard giving him a sign. They don't play in too deep. Squares around the butt one down the first baseline. George Scott coming in. He fouls it straight back on the screen. We're in the top half of the 6th inning. There's 2 away. 1-0. The Red Sox over the Cardinals. High and inside to Hughes. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. During the season, Lonborg started 39 games. He completed 15 of them. A 1-1 pitch to Hughes. A fastball. Just got that outside corner. Maybe you can hear the umpire, Al Baldick, behind home plate. When he calls a strike, you can hear him all over the park. And he's a great one. The 1 ball and 2 strike. Look out. Lonborg came inside with it. Almost got Hughes. As Harry told you, Lonborg led the major that hit batsmen this season with 19. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Dick Hughes. Lonborg gave it a sign from Elson Howard. Moves outside. Fastball too high. And it's a full count on the pitcher. Dick Hughes. 2 away. It's the Cardinals' 10. Boy, a pitcher to walk another one. Let's see what happens here. Here's the pitch. He cut him out. Jim Lonborg striking out Dick Hughes, and that's all for the Cardinals. No one's behind. And nowhere. After 5.5 innings of play, the score of Boston Red Sox 1, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
Some ball game, Pee Wee. And man, you got to start thinking now in terms of that perfect game. He has retired. Lonborg has retired 18 in a row, and here's the guy stepping up there who led off the 4th inning with a home run, which represents the difference in this 1-0 ball game. Boston leading, referring to Carl Yazstrzemski.
Yes, sir. Bob Gibson. Shut out Carl Yazstrzemski yesterday. The Red Sox got beat. Today he hit a home run and a line drive in that right field seat. The first pitch to Yazstrzemski is inside, ball 1. Dick Hughes, who has done a fine job for the Cardinals, but fails in this game by a score of 1-0 as he ran up against the toughie. There's a slow curveball in there for call strike 1. So after throwing that fastball to him the last time, You may see something a little bit different to him this year, but Harry says Hughes does not have a good changeup. Fastball, little low, 2 balls and 1 strike. As you can see that Hughes is pitching careful to Carl Yazstrzemski. Yazstrzemski stands back in that batter's box, holds his hands high, pokes up on the bat just a little bit. He has a closed stance. Dick Hughes looking down to his catcher, Tim McCarver. Fastball right outside when McCarver was holding that glove. And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's no one away. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And quite a ball game here today as Jim Lonborg for the Red Sox have retired 18 men in a row. Hughes taking a little time. His uniform is soaking wet. Yazstrzemski fouls it back. And the count remains 2-2. They play straight away on Yazstrzemski and deep. Yazstrzemski used to hit a lot to left field. This year he's decided to pull. And it's paid off. Hit 43 home runs. There's a ball fouled off to left. As Hughes trying to sneak that pitch line. The sun has gone in. It's overcast here at Fenway Park. It's kind of muggy. In fact, it's almost hot. 84 degrees. Tim McCarver out to talk to his pitcher, Dick Hughes, with a count of 2-2 on Carl Yazstrzemski, leading things off for the Red Sox in the bottom half of the 6th inning. What did McCarver tell him? He could have told him anything. They played a game with him the first time up there. He kept making him wait. McCarver moves outside. There's what it was. Yazstrzemski goes to the left. Rock over there underneath it and takes it. Third rock to left fielder. As Wynn brought that ball back in, kind of tricked him a little bit, but he came up with it. The Cardinals whipped that ball around the infield. George Scott, the big first baseman. He struck out and got a base, and he's 1 for 2. He has one of the 4 hits off Dick Hughes. Scott stands way back in that box. He really takes the ripple. Starts, checks his swing, holds up. Outside, ball 1. They call him Taters, because that's what George Scott calls a home run. Curveball, outside. Scott is a swinger. He looks at his coach, Popowski, down at third base to see if he wants to chop away at this 2-0 pitch. High and inside, ball 3. It's 1 away. Bottom half the 6th inning. Scott got 2 for 3 yesterday. He had 19 home runs during the season. 82 runs batted in. That's not a bad year. Just got the outside corner. Makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Scott checks with Popowski, his coach at third base. Back in the batter's box. Dick Hughes is ready. Scott swinging that bat. Fastball. Was he taking? Looked like he was. It's now a full count, 3-2. And George Scott, the assistant in there, cannot take this one. Scott will be followed by Reggie Smith. Here it is. He held up on it. It was too high. For George Scott, it's the second walk given up by Dick Hughes. And that brings up Reggie Smith. Dick Williams likes for his club to run. They have fair speed. George Scott, a big man at first base. Orlando Cepeda hold him on, but he can move. Now then, Reggie Smith wants the umpire, Al Barlick, to take a look at the ball. Al decides to throw it out. So Dick Hughes has a new baseball. It's one away. Runner on first base, George Scott. The hitter's Reggie Smith. We're in the bottom half of the sixth inning of the score. The Boston Red Sox won. The St. Louis Cardinals 1-0. Dick Hughes flips the ball over to Cepeda. George Scott may run. Reggie Smith can get a piece of that ball. Fastball outside. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Cardinals. For the Red Sox, 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors. We're in the bottom half of the sixth inning. A flip to first base. George Scott not taking too big of a lead. I don't think that George Scott will get an open field. It'll be a hit and run if he does go. That pitch is too low. Ball 2. McCarver out to talk to Hughes. Cepeda comes in, says something to Dick Hughes. Hughes on the year. Let's see what he did. How many games he started. Hughes started 27 during the season. He completed 12. Has good control when he walked 48 men. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. We have a little action in the Cardinal bullpen. It's Willis. The count on Reggie Smith. I imagine he'll be taking all the way. Dick Hughes will just try to get it down in there. It's too high. High and outside. So it's ball 4. George Scott goes down to second base. Reggie Smith down to first base, and out of the dugout, the manager of the Cardinals, Red Sandy. Well, Harry, you have seen Dick Hughes so many times this year. Do you think he may be getting a little tired? He's had a tough ball game.
I would think so, but I've seen him pitch out of these kind of spots before. What gets me, Pee Wee, is the way his uniform is just so absolutely soaked with perspiration. And it must be a lot warmer down on that field than it is up here. The temperature was 84 degrees going into the game. Red Chaney's walking off the field, so Dick Hughes will stay in there to pitch to Jerry Adair.
I think Dick Hughes is doing a little bit more down on that field than we are up here.
Quite a bit more, Pee Wee.
Runners on first and second. It's 1 away. Jerry Adair is the hitter. And the catcher, Tim McCarver, is pulling his center fielder, trying to get Kurt Flood to come in a little bit. Kurt Flood playing fit away in center field. Jerry Adair in that crouch position of his takes the first pitch outside, and Dick Hughes is getting a little wild here as he watches George Scott and Reggie Smith after getting Yazstrzemski out. Dick Hughes taking a little more time now. McCarver moves outside his catcher. The pitch. Ball hit to the third baseman, Cannon. He boots the ball. He doesn't get anyone. Jerry Adair down to Mike Cannon, which could have been a double play. But Cannon could not find the handle. Everybody's safe. And Mike Cannon will get an error on that hard hit ball there, Adair. We have George Scott on at third, Reggie Smith on at second base. Adair on at first, and it looks to me like it's going to be all for Dick Hughes as Red Sandy comes out of that dugout. And Harry told me that Browse is warming up down there. Browse is the starting pitcher. What about this Willis?
He has a good sinker. He's in his rookie year. Like Hughes, his first year in the major leagues, he did a tremendous job. Appeared in 64 games for the Cardinals. He has a good curveball. Primarily, though, it's his sinking fastball that he depends on. It's a tough play that time on for Hughes. Adair hit the ball sharply, but at Shannon. And after fumbling the ball, he had lost his chance for a double play. He might still have had a play at first base on a dare, but he was in no position upon picking the ball up to throw, and so he had to hold it. And so it's going to be Ron Willis coming in, and we're going to pause 30 seconds here for station identification.
During the giant reach of KNBR AM and FM San Francisco, hear all of the San Francisco Warrior games on KNBR Radio 68.
The man at the gas pump doesn't always remember to ask you if your wiper blades have gone dead and can't stop streaking your windshield. So if they are streakers, remind him to show you a pair of fresh, new Anco anti-wind lift blades or refills. He can slip them on in seconds, and you're ready for any storm. Anco by Anderson.
It's high time to enjoy the richly satisfying flavor of an ice-cold Hires root beer. If it's taste you want, it's high time for Hires.
This is Harry Caray with Pee Wee Reese. We're in the bottom half of the sixth inning. The Red Sox now have a chance to break this game open. After Yazstrzemski flat out the block to start the sixth inning, George Scott walked. So did Reggie Smith. That put runners at first and second. Then Adair hit a sharp ground ball to Shannon, which he could not field cleanly. He was charged with an error and not filled the bases. So the bases are loaded with only one out. The Red Sox have made one run, and that was a homer by Carl Yazstrzemski in the fourth inning. Their totals, as of this moment, are 1 run, 4 hits, no error. The Cardinals haven't had a man reach base. Jim Lonborg is working on a perfect game. And if Don Larson is listening somewhere, I don't guess anybody can appreciate more Lonborg's situation right now than the one man who knows what it is to have pitched a perfect game in a World Series, Don Larson. The Cardinals haven't had a man reach 18 men in a row have been retired. However, the Cardinals will have the top of the batting order coming up in the seventh, starting with Brock. So it's very important here. If the Redbirds can get out of this inning without too much damage, they're still in the ballgame. Petroselli walks up now, Pee Wee, with a chance to really break it wide open for the Red Sox.
Yes, sir, Ron Willis in for Dick Hughes. And the bottom half of the sixth inning as the Red Sox, with a base hit right here, could go out in front and break this game wide open. The infield, the shortstop and second baseman. They're back to double play steps. Cepeda at first, Shannon in at third. Petroselli hits the ball hard out in the center field. First run going back. He's underneath the ball. But George Scott will have no trouble tagging up in third and scoring the second run of this ball game. And Reggie Smith tags up at second and goes over to third. And Petroselli hits that ball hard. But Hertzberg was right back there. And the Red Sox go out in front by a score of 2-0. We now have runners on first and third. And it's 2 away, and the hitter is Elston Howard. Elston Howard getting a nice hand. Jim Lonborg coming in the on-deck circle. Howard hit a line shot. His last time up at Javier makes it a great play on. The first pitch by Willis is outside, ball 1. Willis started his career in 1962 with Brunswick. 66 is the Indianapolis and St. Louis. Here's the pitch. A breaking pitch. Iron outside. One ball, one strike. Willis taking these times, looks to his catcher, Tim McCarver. McCarver moves inside there, Elston Howard. Let's see what, well, there goes the runner, the throw. McCarver bluffs down to third base, trying to tap Reggie Smith off of there. As Jerry Adair broke from first going to second, McCarver bluffs the throw to second base and tries to pick Reggie Smith off third, but Reggie Smith did not fall for it. And McCarver threw the ball a little bit low, but Mike Shannon blocked it.
Yes, he did. Shannon may have saved the run. He just blocked that throw into the dirt with his chest.
They're going to give Elston Howard a free ticket. And pitch to Jim Lonborg, the pitcher. And you can hardly blame him for that. Looks like we could get a little rain here at Fenway Park. I certainly hope not. Jim Lonborg. celebration from these wonderful fans here at Fenway Park in Boston. It's 2 away. The bases are loaded. Ron Willis. Fastball. Look out. It almost got Jose Tartabull off the right in the on-deck circle as Jim Lonborg did not quite get around on that one. 1 strike on him. Willis pulls pretty hard. You must be ready. Lonborg has opened his stance up a little bit. Willis looking down to his catcher, McCarver. Here's the pitch. Curveball, and they go in there. Call strike 2. On at third, Reggie Smith. On at second, Jerry Adair. On at first, Elson Howard. The hitter, Jim Lonborg, the big pitcher who's done such a terrific job here today. He has retired 18 men in a row. He lost his bat, and that's all for Lonborg, and that's all for the Red Sox here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on base. So the score after 6 complete innings, the Boston Red Sox 2 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
Once again, we're happy to present the... This is Harry Caray with Pee Wee Reese at Fenway Park. They've turned the lights on. Skies have darkened considerably, and the lights have been turned on now. The Cardinals going into the top of the 7th have yet to put a man on base. Lou Brock will be leading it off, so the Cardinals will have Brock, Flood, and Maris trying to break Jim Lonborg's streak, which now is 18 consecutive batters retired. We're getting a few drops of rain, and more than just a few drops. And some of the fans now scurry for shelter. The totals at this moment, 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Red Sox. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the St. Louis Cardinals. So the rains have started here in Boston, and this balmy summer weather, perhaps, is going to come to an end. Lou Brock leads it off, and here to tell you about it is Pee Wee Reese.
Thank you, Harry. Lou Brock leading things off in the top half of the 7th inning. Lonborg has pitched a great game for the Red Sox. They've leading this ball game by a score of 2-0. He's looking down at Elson Howard. Elson Howard holds that target right in the middle. Ball hit hard. Jerry Adair up with 1 hand. Tips the ball over the side side. As the Red Sox flip that ball around the infield, Elson Howard out to talk to his pitcher, Jim Lonborg. And I'm sure that Jim Lonborg knows what's happening in this game. I was in that game with Don Larson when he beat the Brooklyn Dodgers and didn't allow any of us to reach base. It's a little embarrassing, eh? Kurt Flood. Jim Lonborg looks down, the big kick, and a sinker in there for call strike 1. I imagine you will hear the fans here at Fenway Park cheer with every pitch now as we're in the top half of the 7th inning. And Jim Lonborg has the perfect game so far. Little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kurt Flood had quite a year. For the Cardinals, hitting .335, a tough man to strike out. The pitch is outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Lonborg keeps looking at his thumb, Harry, like he may have a blister.
It's something to watch closely, Pee Wee.
After each pitch, I noticed him doing that last Sunday, he checks his thumb. But I'll say one thing for him, he doesn't seem to be losing anything off of that fastball or his curveball. Kurt Flood had a real good ripple shot when fouled it back, and the count is 2-2. Lonborg with those feet close together. Elson Howard giving the sign. Kurt Flood holding that bat high. He's not too big. He's got good speed. Lonborg, fat-arm curveball, just missed. It's a full count, 3-2.
Steve Carlson, the young left-hander of the Cardinals, is now working in the bullpen.
A full count on Kurt Flood as Jim Lonborg gets the new ball. The outfield, the infield, playing straight away. Lonborg goes to his mouth, wipes his hand off, or wipes his fingers off on every pitch. He's looking down for the sign. He has it. The kick. the throw, and he fouled it back. And Kurt Flood is still alive.
I believe now, Pee Wee, this is only the fourth man that he's come down to a full count on.
I would say he's pitched quite a ball game. Dick Hughes started for the Cardinals. Gave up to Ron Willis. There's a little lazy fire. No one will catch that one. Down the right field line. George Scott, the first baseman going over, cannot catch up with it. Way back up in the stand. And the count remains 3-2. Flood, of course, has not had a hit today. Has no one else on the St. Louis Cardinals. He grounded out to the third baseman. Grounded out to the shortstop, which is a real close play on both of them. The pitch, the kick by Lonborg is thrown outside. And that's the first man to reach base against Jim Lonborg as Kurt Flood gets a base on ball. Well, we will not have a perfect game, Harry.
He still hasn't given up a hit, though, Pee Wee.
Roger Maris. He popped to right. He popped to the shortstop. He's 0 for 2. Kurt Flood, who has good speed. It's one away. The Red Sox are out in front 2-0. Lonborg makes a flip over to George Scott to hold Kurt Flood close. Lonborg working with 3 days rest. He looks down at his catcher. Roger Maris hits one out in the left field. Yastrzemski going back. He has it. Kicks the ball back to shortstop Petroselli, and Petroselli is there. Elson Howard out to talk to his pitcher. Jim Lonborg. The hitter, Orlando Cepeda. He is the big man for the Cardinals, has been all year. But in the series, in the first game and here in the second game, he has not had a hit. He's 0 for 6. He's overdue as he's planting that right foot of his. He is really throwing out some dirt. They call him the bull. He looks like a bull there, throwing that dirt back with his foot. He has a cold stance. The first pitch, a breaking pitch a little bit too high. One ball on him. Jim Lonborg taking a little time. Kurt Flood on at first base, who likes to run. But the Cardinals trail by a score of 2-0. I doubt if they will send Kurt Flood. Lonborg looking down to Elson Howard. Here is the pitch. Curveball too high. They want to give this big fella a chance to tie this ball game up. Cepeda checking with his coach, Joe Schultz, out at third base. Lonborg looking down for his sign. He comes set, looks over at first base at Kurt Flood. Here's the pitch. Ball hit hard. Petroselli comes up with it. Gets the ball is there. First and Kurt Flood at second base. And that's all for the Cardinals here in the top half of the seventh inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. And the score after 6.5 innings play is Boston 2 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. The seventh inning, and a little shortstop Rico Petroselli just made quite a play. It was a tough chance. In-betweener, a short hop. And Rico said, look at here what I have. He flipped the ball to Jerry Adair, and Jim Lonborg almost lost his no-hitter. But he still has it going. He can't pitch his perfect game anymore as he walked Kurt Flood. But I'm sure the most thing he wants right now is to win this game. Jose Tartabull leading things off for the Red Sox. The first pitch is low by Ron Willis. Ron Willis on the year has an earned run average of 2.67. That's pretty good. A foul off the left by Tartabull. 1 ball and 1 strike. He started 65 games. His record, 1-6 and lost 5. Willis looking down to his catcher, Tim McCarver. The target down low for McCarver. Tartable looks like he wants to bunt it. That's the ball goal. It's too low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Tartable, who has good speed, likes to bunt. Mike Shannon in at third base. A couple of steps. Cepeda in at first base. Ron Willis looking down to McCarver. Here's the pitch, the kick. Outside. Ball 3. The Red Sox had 2 runs on 4 hits. They scored a run in the 4th. They scored a run in the 6th. Yazstrzemski had a home run in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Tartable with a count of 3-1 on. They would like to get him on here right now. He's on there. Too high, ball 4. Dalton Jones. Struck out, flied out. Hit a ball to Cepeda at first base. He's 0 for 3. Dalton Jones gets a piece of the ball. Let's see if they'll be bunting or letting Dalton Jones hit away. He did Sunday. Hit one right by the third baseman. Has a throw to first base. And Cepeda trying to make that quick tag like he bluffed to throw back to Willis and try to tag Tartable. That's another quick throw to first base. It almost got by Cepeda. Cepeda kind of playing with Jose Tartable. Dalton Jones. Here's the pitch. He squares around to bunt the ball. Down to first baseline, foul. Tartable. Back to first base. 1 strike on Dalton Jones. This is what happened Sunday. Dalton Jones tried to bunt the first pitch. He bunted it foul. On the next pitch, Dick Williams, the manager of the Red Sox, let him hit away. Let's see if it happens today. He springs away, hits the ball off the left. I don't think it's anybody. Knocks the ball down and cannot throw anyone out. On the play, Tartable. Down to second base, and on at first base, Dalton Jones. After trying to bunt, Dick Williams gave Dalton Jones a hit sign. Jones went to left with it, knocked the over, knocked the ball down, but they had no play anywhere. And Billy Moffitt, the pitching coach for the Cardinals, asked to talk to Ron Willis. And we're going to have a new pitcher. Who is it, Harry?
It'll be Joe Harner, the left-hander, who's done a great job all season long for the Cardinals in these kind of situations. A sinker baller. He wheels from the side, tough on the left-handed batter. For that matter, he's done very effectively against right-handers, too. Joe Harner will be the new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. Jack LeMahieu is also working out there now. And we're going to pause here 30 seconds for station identification.
You're on a giant reach at KNBR, AM and FM San Francisco. Hear all the San Francisco Warrior games on KNBR Radio 68.
Men who display the bright yellow Anco windshield wiper service cabinets, your customers will really appreciate a reminder about their streaking wiper blades. Let them look at a new pair of Anderson's Anco anti-wind lift blades or refills while your gas pump is filling their tank. Tell them you can put them on in seconds. This is real Anco service.
Harry Caray at Fenway Park. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The Red Sox have Tartable at second base. Dalton Jones at first base. There's nobody out. And Carl Yazstrzemski, who hit a homer in the 4th inning, to put the Red Sox on the scoreboard first. Yazstrzemski will be the hitter. The Red Sox out in front 2-0 with 2 men on, nobody out, the best hitter up there. A chance really to break this game wide open. On the other hand, the Cardinals, a free-hitting ball club with good batters up and down the batting order, have run into a no-hitter so far for 7 innings at the hands of young Jim Lonborg. Joe Harner, who won 4, lost 4 during the season with an earned run average of 2.59,
He's just about finished with his practice tosses. So, Pee Wee, let's see what's going to happen.
Okay, Harry. Carl Yazstrzemski will be the first hitter to face Joe Horner. Runners on first and second. You got your best hitter on the ball club. We have a little more rain coming down right now. And was you having fun? I don't think so. Joe Horner, the pitcher, looking around at his outfield. He's using the rosin. Checks with the shortstop and second baseman. In case the ball is hit back to him, who wants it? Now he walks up on the rubber. Yazstrzemski, he's in the box, he's ready. McCarver giving the sign. Horner looks back at the runner, Carter at second base. Here's the pitch. Good swing, no contact by Carl Yazstrzemski. As Horner on that fastball inside on Yazstrzemski. 0-1's the count on Yazstrzemski. No runs, no hits, 1 error for the Cardinals. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Boston Red Sox. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. No one out. Runners on first and second. Fastball outside. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. They move the ball around on Yazstrzemski. You cannot pitch this fellow one way. And he hits left-handers pretty good. 1 ball, 1 strike. Horner looks back at the runner at second base. Fastball, swung on and miss. Strike 2. Horner, first time I've seen him this year, throws it pretty hard. Yazstrzemski gets out of that batter's box, gets some dirt on his hand. The rain still coming down here at Fenway Park in Boston, and we had such a beautiful day starting this game off. As we told you a little earlier, we had those overcast skies. Here's the pitch for Horner. High, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Carl Yazstrzemski. Carnival down at second base. At first base, Dalton Jones. Joe Horner looking down to his catcher, Tim McCarver. McCarver giving the sign. Yazstrzemski waving that bat high in the air. Here's the pitch. Hit it off. Hit hard after right field. That ball is gone. Second home run for the Superman, Carl Yazstrzemski, in this ball game. He has driven in 4 runs. The Red Sox now lead by a score of 5-0 as George Scott steps in there. And Hunter is a little wild with that first pitch. Outside, ball 1. And I'm telling you, just as soon as his ball was hit, I knew it was gone, and so did the right fielder, Roger Maris. Fastball in there for call strike 1. Makes the count 1 ball and 1 strike. George Scott moves up on the plate just a little bit. As he thought that ball was outside, he holds the bat just a little bit high. That is quite as high as Yazstrzemski, in close to his body. He's a hard swinger. Horner. Next pitch is outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Horner looking down at his catcher, McCarver. The windup, the pitch. Ball is taking away from George Scott. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. McCarver wants to talk to his pitcher, Horner. Harry, I haven't seen Horner throw a curveball yet.
He doesn't have a curveball. He has a slider that moves pretty good. Yazstrzemski, what a year. He was stopped yesterday, nothing out of 4. The Red Sox got beat 2-1. Today he has hit 2 homers. Good for 4 of their 5 runs.
ball player. The 2-2 pitch, George Scott fouls it back. As we said this morning, you stop Yazstrzemski. Seems like you stopped this Red Sox attack a little bit. That's exactly what Gibson did yesterday. He just kind of overpowered everyone. Dick Hughes pitched fine ball, but right here, bottom half the seventh inning, the Cardinals have run into a little trouble. Look out. Inside. Ball three. Almost hit George Scott. Makes the count 3-2. Still no one out. Joe Hunter. Just a little rain still coming down. It is dark. The lights are on here at Fenway Park. The windup, the pitch. There's the ball hit out of the left field. That may be off of the wall. No. Lou Doc right back there underneath the scoreboard to take it for out number one. That wind is blowing from left to right. It was blowing out, I guarantee, it had been off of that scoreboard. Reggie Smith. He's now moved over batting right-handed against the left-handed pitcher Joe Hunter. He's a switch hitter. He was batting left-handed against Dick Hughes, a right-hander who started this game. Smith 0 for 2. Has a ripple on that one. Strike one. One away. Joe Hunter. Looking down to McCarver. Here's the kick. Fastball. Tries to check his swing. Fouls it off the right. Down the first base side. Back in the stand. Strike two. Reggie Smith has an open stance right-handed, a closed stance left-handed. Joe Hunter looking at the ball, standing on the mound. Now he's on the rubber. He looks at McCarver, giving the sign. McCarver outside. As where the pitch a little bit too much outside, makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Run away. The scores, the Boston Red Sox 5, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. As the ball hit out into right center. Let's see if first strike can get over there. Roger Maris goes over. Roger Maris calls for it and takes it. For out number 2, that ball was hit in right center. Roger Maris, the right fielder, went over there and took that ball easy. Looks like it may be in there first.
You know, Pee Wee, I just wonder whether the batting practice after the game yesterday is the answer. Petroselli, who struck out 3 times yesterday, has had a big day, and so has Yazstrzemski.
Jerry Adair swings on the first pitch, fouls it back. Tony Kubek and I, as I said, we were talking about that. We have never seen anybody, I know no one on our club ever went out after a World Series game and took batting practice.
I've never heard of it before either.
I believe it helped.
A changing world, Pee Wee.
Adair hits one foul down the first baseline. Cepeda goes back. Will he have a chance? No, it's in the stand. I didn't get a chance to talk to Carl Yazstrzemski, but as I said, I talked to Petroselli. You know, and all it takes, Terry, is just one little thing, or even just something to build up your confidence in your performance. Sometimes it helps. And Yazstrzemski, whatever it was, he found out.
Yeah, but there's a guy the last day of the season has 4 out of 4.
Those are the kind of slumps I like to get into. Adair swings on a fastball, fouls it back. Still 2 strikes on Jerry. No balls and 2 strikes. Joe Hunter in relief here of Ron Willis, who came in to pitch for Dick Hughes. This is the 3rd pitcher for the Cardinals. Hunter taking a little time. The windup, the kick, fastball inside. Joe Hunter fell down when he released that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Jerry Adair. He's up close to the plate. He strides right into the ball. There's the ball hit hard out into center field. Kirkwood coming in. He can't get it. Takes it on 1 hop. Back into the infield comes the ball, and making the turn back into first base is Jerry Adair. He's talking about Petroselli and his batting practice yesterday. What has he done today? Had a base at his first time up. He struck out in the fourth inning. Hit a sacrifice fly. In the sixth inning, to score a run, of course. So he's 1 for 2. The first pitch, a breaking pitch, low in the dirt. Carver makes a nice pickup. 1 ball on Rico Petrocelli. It's 2 away. Jerry Adair on at first base. They play Petrocelli straight away. He has good power. If he gets that in front of the ball, he can carry it a long way. Swing and a foul tip. Right in back of you. Al Barty cannot pick it up. There it is. Tim McCarver picked it up. Throws the ball back to Joe Hunter. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Dan Yazstrzemski is warming up for the Red Sox out in their bullpen.
1 ball, 1 strike on Rico Petrocelli. Hunter looking over to Dare at first base. Cepeda holding him on. Here's the kick, the pitch, fastball outside. McCarver makes a bluff. Down to Cepeda at first base, no throw. 2 balls and 1 strike on Rico Petrocelli. The Red Sox have come up with 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. On Carl Yazstrzemski's home run. Inside, ball 3. And that was his second home run, Yazstrzemski, of the day. He's batted in 4 of the 5 runs. Elston Howard in the on-deck circle. Hunter looks over to Dare. Here's the kick, fastball, going outside. Ball 4. So Petrocelli goes to first base, moving down to second. Jerry Adair moving out of that dugout is Billy Muffet. The pitching coach for the Cardinals. Now he comes back in and he wants to talk to Red Sandys. Red Sandys says something to him, and Billy Muffet gives the sign to Augie Donatelli, the umpire down in second base, that we want a new pitcher.
He's got Jack LeMay, a right-hander, and Al Jackson, a left-hander out there. As the Red Sox now build up a 5-0 lead, you can't help but look ahead to the next 2 innings for the Cardinals because Jim Lonborg is working on a no-hitter. Only once before in the history of baseball was a no-hitter pitch in the World Series, and that was Don Larson's perfect game for the Yankees against the Dodgers in 1956. Sal Magley, by the way, who's Lonborg's pitching coach with the Red Sox, was the loser in that game that Larson pitched the perfect game in. 1-hitters have been pitched by Rulbach with the Cubs in 1906, Claude Passoff with the Cubs in 1945, and you all remember Floyd Bevins with a no-hitter going to the bottom of the ranks with 2 out, and he was beaten. We'll pause here 30 seconds for station identification.
You're in the giant reach of KNBR, AM and FM San Francisco. Hear all of the San Francisco Warrior games on KNBR Radio 68.
Don't blame your gas station serviceman who forgot to ask you, do your wipers streak your windshield? Chances are you too forgot and didn't ask him. Don't wait until your dead blades in the next storm cloud your vision. Get new ANCO anti-windlift blades or refills. Get them the next time you buy gas.
Harry Caray at Fenway Park with the Red Sox now lead 5-0. The Red Sox have scored 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. The Cardinals haven't had a hit, and actually no runs. They've committed 1 error. Jack LeMay becomes the Cardinals' 4th pitcher. He used to be with the Red Sox. 32-year-old right-hander. He did some effective work for the Cardinals after they obtained him from the New York Mets about mid-season or so. The Red Sox have Petrocelli at first base and Adair at second base. There are 2 outs. Joe Horner was touched for a 3-run homer by Carl Yazstrzemski, the man he was brought in to face. Then got the next 2 men out, but Adair singled and Petrocelli walked. And so now Jack LeMay will be facing Elston Howard. Howard is 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Flied out and was robbed of a hit on a great play by Javier. Was intentionally passed in the 6th. This is the 2nd game of the World Series. Open date tomorrow. The 2 teams practice in St. Louis. And Saturday, the series resumes
Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. Elston Howard, the batter, and once again, Pee Wee Reese.
It's still raining here at Fenway Park in Boston. Runners on first and second. Elston Howard, the hitter, 2 away. Jack LeMay, the new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's the force of the day. Good fastball. Swung on. Missed. Strike 1. LeMay. His record, 3 wins and 7 losses. Earned run average, 3.30. Elston Howard, way back in that batter's box. He has a closed stance. Used to pull the ball quite a bit. Now then he hits the ball on the right and right center. Jack LeMay comes set, looks back to Jerry Adair at second base. Breaking pitch, low and outside, ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 away. Elston Howard drying his hands off. Clearing up a little bit, getting a little bit brighter. We certainly hope so. Jim Lonborg is going for a no-hitter. Elston Howard fouls a fastball straight back, 1 ball and 2 strikes. LeMay. Massaging that old horse fired up, out on the mound, gets some rosin on his hand, looks down at his catcher. Catcher Tim McCarver. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Elston Howard. He comes set, looks back to second. Here's the curveball. It's too high. Makes the count 2-2. It's been a long inning for the Cardinals, as the Red Sox have come up with 3 runs here. Still in the bottom half, the 7th inning. LeMay looks for the sign. He comes set, the pitch. Ball hit hard down the first baseline, but it's foul. Looked like Harry was trying to go to right field with that ball. Back to second base is Jerry Adair. And back to first, Petroselli. The second game of the World Series, and this is the 64th World Series. American League teams have a 38-25 edge in the series competition. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Elston Howard. LeMay, he's ready. The pitch. He's struck him out. And that's all for Elston Howard, and that's all for the Red Sox here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. But they came up with 3 runs on 3 hits. No errors and left 2 men on base. So the score after 7 full innings, the Boston Red Sox 5, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
With a commanding lead of 5-0 as we go into the top of the 8th. And the St. Louis Cardinals have yet to make a hit. Jim Lonborg working on a no-hitter. Only 1 man reached base, and that on a 3-2 pitch that barely missed. Kurt Flood walked in the 7th inning. He had retired 19 in a row at that point. Now there's some line to Yazstrzemski and left, and Cepeda hit perhaps the hardest ball of the day, and Petroselli made a one-handed stab of a low line drive on 1 hop to his left, turned into a 4th play to end the 7th inning. Now it's Tim McCarver to lead it off for the Cardinals. 5-0 Red Sox over St. Louis. Once again, Pee Wee.
Tim McCarver, Mike Shannon, and Julian Javier to face Jim Lonborg, the big, tall right-hander here, as they go in the top half of the 8th inning. And as you know, Lonborg has not given up a hit. On the season, he was 22-9. Kind of a tall, lean fellow, this Lonborg is. He's 6'5", weighs 200 pounds. He's 24 years old. Had quite a year. And the fans are now pulling for him to go all the way here at Boston.
15 was just telling me here that Lonborg went 8 1/3 innings against the Angels at Anaheim earlier this season with a no-hit game. Finally lost the no-hitter and also lost the contest.
5-0. Red Sox over the St. Louis Cardinals. Tim McCarver, the first pitch turned the curveball, a little bit too low. Jim Lonborg. The one thing he must not do now is to start to aim that ball. Don't steer it, keep throwing it. I'm sure he knows that. His feet close together to wind up the kick. And here's the pitch. A little grounder out to Jerry. There shouldn't be any trouble. Up with it, flips it over to George Scott. And that's all for Tim McCarver. Mike Shannon. Shannon has not had too much luck with Jim Lonborg. Lonborg has shown him nothing but curveballs all day. And he struck him out both times. He shot on Curtin the last time up there. And I believe that Shannon may have been looking for a fastball. He kind of went down, and the ball broke right over the plate. And, Mike, I know how you feel because I've done the same thing. Lonborg has a real good sidearm curveball, and it's tough for a right-hander to stay in there. Once you take your eye off of that ball, you have had it. Lonborg getting his sign. Elson Howard moves outside. Curveball blowing outside, ball one.
Pee Wee, the sequence of hitters certainly enhances Lonborg's chances at this no-hitter. He's got McCarver out of the way. He's got Shannon and Javier, Knoxville, the pitcher, and the leadoff man to come up here.
Ground ball out to shortstop, pitcher Silly. The long throw over to George Scott at first. Two down. You are through right here. Let's see if we get a... We may get a pinch hitter or Maxwell. Well, we have to worry about that next inning. Javier gets on.
Excuse me, Dave, but as you look at what's coming up, the one man perhaps that will be a big factor in this no-hitter if it comes will be Lou Brock, who is sure to come up one more time in this game.
Javier, the batter two away. He's got it out to shortstop. Flat out to right field his last time up. Jim Lonborg, the kick. A curveball. It could be a base hit out in the left field. Yes, sir. Javier, Yazstrzemski overcuts the ball off. He knocks it down. Javier going into second with a stand-up double. Well, there goes Jim Lonborg's double. Elson Howard out to walk. Talks to him. And the fans giving Lonborg a real nice hand. He deserves it. We have a pinch hitter for Dow Maxwell, and it's Bobby Tolan. Bobby Tolan batting for the shortstop, Dow Maxwell. And they tell me that this fellow right here, Bobby Tolan, could be the next right fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals when Roger Maris decides to retire. Quite a ball player.
He's only 21 years old, Pee Wee, and he is a good ball player. He can run, he can hit, he can throw. He's got great power for a little fellow, by the way.
Well, it's too bad about Jim Lonborg as he lost his no-hitter there on a double by Javier down in that left field corner. But there was no doubt about it when he hit it. It was not a cheapie. Lonborg got that curveball just a little bit inside. It looked like Javier down at second. The pitch by, look out, Tolan tries to hold up on the swing, hits the ball down to Dalton Jones. Dalton Jones throws the ball to George Scott, and that's all for the Cardinals here in the top half of the eighth. No runs, no hit, has one man left on base. The score after 7.5 innings of play, the Boston Red Sox 5, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
Adam, this little car we're driving to paint. Let's go down and see the Dodge Fair with Flora, Winston, Race, and James. It has to be the Dodge Fever. Throw it to us, Fever, from that silent breeze. Fever! It's gonna get you and the entire human race. You got to be the Dodge Fever. You got to be the
listeners' scorebook. It's free at participating Dodge dealers. Harry?
Jim Lonborg has just received a standing ovation, and he has richly earned it. By the way, Pee Wee, the Boston-based CG Polar icebreaker Augusto, navigating among icebergs and swirling snow some 750 miles from the North Pole, listening to NBC and Armed Forces radio, send their greetings.
The first pitch by Jack LeMay to Jim Lonborg. Swung on and missed, strike one. We're going in the bottom half of the eighth inning. Jack LeMay, the kick, a fastball in there for call, strike two. The fourth pitcher for the Cardinals. Hughes went 5 1/3 innings. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits, struck out 5, walked 3. Willis, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout and 1 walk. Marner pitched 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 1 run, 2 hits, struck out no one and walked 1. LeMay is in there right now. Lonborg has made only 81 pitches in his first 8 innings. Curveball swung on, and this for strike 3. Lonborg gets a nice hand as he goes back to the dugout. Very seldom you get an ovation when you strike out. That fellow certainly deserves it today. Jose Tortobal. See what he's done. Flat out. Struck out, flat out, and walked. Pitch is too low, ball 1. 5-0. The Red Sox over the St. Louis Cardinals. Jack LeMay, the kick, the pitch, as the ball popped up. Third baseman Mike Stanning in foul territory. Over there, underneath it and takes it for out number 2. You know that the Cardinals won the first game in back of Bob Gibson by a score of 2-1, and the Red Sox trying to even it up here today in this second game at Fenway Park, and they lead by a score of 5-0. Tomorrow will be off, and the series will open up in St. Louis on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Dalton Jones, base hit out of the right field. Roger Maris in, picks the ball up, down on one knee. Dalton Jones makes the turn at first, back in there. Carl Yazstrzemski. A standing ovation for Carl Yazstrzemski. He's walked in the first inning, hit a home run in the 4th inning. Right out to left field in the 6th inning and hit a home run in the 7th inning. He's batted in 4 of the 5 runs. It's 2 out. LeMay, first pitch, curveball, base hit out in the right center. Kurt Flood over there to cut it off. Now we'll get a chance to see Kurt Flood's arm. Not too bad, but Dalton Jones goes on in the 3rd. They've been talking about Kurt Flood's arm. Threw that one pretty good. You shut him out yesterday, but not today as he has 2 home runs and a single. Brings up George Scott. He got 2 hits yesterday. He has 1 today. 1 for 3. The fans are already coming to life. George Scott swings on the first pitch. Strike 1. Fouls it back. Dalton Jones on his 3rd. Carl Yazstrzemski on his 1st. The bullpen for the Cardinals, the little left-hander Al Jackson. Jack LeMay. He'll be holding the runners on, of course. Runners on 1st and 3rd. He's getting a sign. He comes set. Here's the pitch. Swinging a miss. Strike 2 on a good fastball. We've seen these Red Sox play quite a bit. And the more I see of this Yazstrzemski, the more feller you have to like him. Not only with that bat, he does one fine job in that outfield. 2 strikes on George Scott. McCarver moves outside. Here's the pitch. It's a little too far outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. George Scott hit 19 home runs on the year. Cepeda talking with Yazstrzemski down at first base. He likes to talk. Little tap. Will it be fair? Mike Cannon has to hurry. The long throw over to Cepeda. That retires George Scott, and that retires the Red Sox here. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. So the score after 8 full innings, the Boston Red Sox 5, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
If you want to settle questions about shaving, ask your face about it. The average face is smarter than it looks. It may not know much about razors, but it knows what it likes. Take the new Gillette Techmatic razor. It's light. You don't bear down so much. And the face appreciates this lightness. It not only feels better, it runs less of a chance of getting nicked or cut. Or say halfway through a shave you notice the edge is getting dull. And try changing blades with your old razor. Hard, isn't it? Slippery fingers, sharp little thing. You just wouldn't bother. But with the Techmatic, you just flip the lever for a fresh shaving edge. It's easy. You would bother. From your face's point of view, this is good. It means you don't keep shaving with a worn-out blade. Consult an expert about the Gillette Techmatic razor. Ask your face about it.
Yesterday, the Cardinals beat the Red Sox because Bob Gibson overpowered the Red Sox hitters. Today, the Red Sox are beating the Cardinals because Jim Lonborg has been superlative. He's made only 81 pitches in 8 innings. The only hit he allowed came after 2 were out in the 8th inning. Now he's got himself a 5-0 shutout going into the top of the 9th with a pinch hitter, Dave Ricketts, going up there for the Cardinals. Pee Wee?
Okay, Harry, and you said just what I was thinking. Jim Lonborg is overpowered the Cardinals today, just like Bob Gibson did yesterday with the Boston Red Sox. This is the best that I've seen Lonborg, and he picked a fine time to be tough, and that's what he is. Dave Ricketts. That's ball. High and outside, ball 2. Ricketts. He's a switch hitter batting left-handed against the right-handed Jim Lonborg. The kick, the pitch, that's too low. Ball 3. Dick Williams, the manager of the Red Sox. Sal Magley, the pitching coach. Up on the step, they're watching Jim Lonborg to make sure he does not get too tired. He's been under a lot of pressure. A fastball right got in there for call strike 1. Jim Lonborg had made, as we told you, 81 pitches coming in to this inning. And that's not too many. The 3-1 pitch into Dave Ricketts. It popped up. Petroselli, the shortstop, underneath it, and takes it out number 1. Just 2 outs. The Red Sox are from evening this series up. The fellow we were a little concerned about before Javier got the base hit, Lou Brock. He had 4 hits yesterday. The first pitch, the kick by Lonborg, foul over to the right. Almost got Joe Cronin, the president of the American League and longtime shortstop of the Red Sox, general manager of the Red Sox, Jim Lonborg. The kick, the pitch to Lou Brock, it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lonborg does not take too big of a wind-up. He always starts out with his feet close together. Most of the times he will stoop over and take the sign. This time he didn't. Here's this tall kick to the left foot, and a fastball just got the outside corner. He has the a good thinker.
Boy, Pee Wee, he hasn't tired one bit. He's throwing as hard now as he did in the first inning. He looks like he could pitch another game if we had a doubleheader here today.
I would say he had something on that ball right there. A real good, fast thinker by Jim Lonborg. And a surprise blew Brock a little bit. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Brock. Now then, Lonborg is scooped over. He's taking the sound. Here's the kick to pitch. Ground ball off to second base, and there he's up with it. Puts the ball over to George Scott. So 2 away. The last chance for the Cardinals, as there are 2 outs here in the top half of the 9th inning. Kurt Flood. The first pitch for Lonborg. Thinker, swung on, missed, strike 1. And the fans smelling victory here in Boston. And they have really turned out in this ballpark. There's a ball hit out into center field. It can be all of it. Reggie Smith underneath it and takes it for the third out. And that's all for the Cardinals here in the top half of the 9th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. And the final score, Boston 5 and St. Louis Cardinals nothing. We'll be...
Whistling my favorite song, gotta get moving right along. Oh, I'd walk a mile for a camel. Walking to nowhere, gonna find a big plane there. Yes, I'd walk a mile for a camel. I'd walk a mile for a camel. I'd walk a mile with you. I've got one thing told, it'll do with a great big hole. Yes, I'd walk a mile for a camel. I'd walk a mile for a camel.
This little message is strictly for smokers who've never tasted a Camel cigarette. Camel smokers, you know what we mean. You other guys, start walking.
This is Harry Caray with Pee Wee Reese. We've just witnessed one of the masterpieces of World Series history. A one-hitter pitched by 24-year-old, 6'5" Jim Lonborg, who proved that that 22 and 9 record of his in the American League this past season was certainly no fluke, as he was absolutely the most dominant pitcher you've ever seen in a game with this kind of pressure, with his team 1 game down in the World Series, playing its second game at home, realizing if it loses this one, they go into St. Louis down 2 with 3 to play. A lot of pressure. And he came up with just a magnificent pitching performance. He was never in any trouble. The only hit he allowed was with 2 out in the 8th, a double by Javier into the left field corner. He didn't permit a base runner until 1 was out in the 7th, and he missed on a 3-2 pitch and then just barely. So only 2 base runners were on base against him. He faced only 29 men. Never has there been a better pitch game unless it be Don Larson's perfect game back there in 1956.
Well, Harry, I saw both of them. I was in the stands on this one and played in the other one. I think one of the only times that Don Larson went to 3-2, it was on old Pee Wee, and I'll have to tell you that I did strike out after that. But this fellow really did dominate this game today, even more so, I believe, than Bob Gibson did yesterday. I saw him pitch that final game against Minnesota here on Sunday, and I tell you, maybe a young boy grew up right there, Harry, and he pitched quite a ball game.
Yeah, there's only been 1 no-hitter, that was Larson's, and now Jim Lonborg joins the list. And a select few it is. He becomes the 4th man to ever have pitched a one-hitter, joining the list of Ed Rubach of the Cubs, Claude Pastor of the Cubs, and Floyd Bevins of the Yankees. We will continue with our wrap-up in 1 minute.
Why is it the minute you step into the average tire store, you feel like you're in the middle of some jungle? Is it the confusion, the mystery, the foreign-sounding language? Whatever the reason, it's all over. BF
do they do it? With straight talk, plain English, which means you don't have to struggle through all that confusion over tire cords, rubber compounds, tread patterns, or sweat over a confusing array of tire grades and prices. All you do is tell the Goodrich people how you drive, how fast, how much, and they'll tell you what tire is best for you. They'll even give you a handy tire value calculator so you can pick the right tire yourself. May even save yourself some money. So the next time you hear the call of tire confusion, ignore it and let straight talk from B.F. Goodrich be your guide.
Our director today, Lem Dillon. Our NBC audio supervisor, Joe Cerniello. The totals again as the Boston Red Sox have evened up the series for Boston. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Jim Lonborg, a spectacular pitcher. For the Cardinals, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error. Vic Hughes, who pitched creditably, but nevertheless is the loser. So, Pee Wee, the decks are cleared. And now, a day off, the Red Sox will familiarize themselves with Bush Memorial Stadium in St. Louis. The Cardinals will work out there, too. And once again, with the series tied 1 game apiece, we'll be at them Saturday from St. Louis.
Okay, I will not be with you because you'll be on television, but it's been a pleasure working these 2 games with you.
We'll be back with a rundown of the story and a review of the outstanding plays in a moment.
Said Isabella to Columbus, this tiny boat has gotta go. Clear on in to see the Dodge Boys, and you discover Monaco. It is the Beaver, Dodge Beaver. With that big ride, Beaver with a luxurious plan. Beaver, see the Dodge Boys, the new world of driving is there. You got the Beaver, Dodge Beaver. You got the Beaver, Dodge Beaver.
Monaco, the luxurious car with a list of standard equipment as long as you're on. Monaco gives you a smoother, more comfortable ride because Monaco is a better car all around. Make sure you see Monaco at your nearby Dodge dealer. And don't forget to pick up your free copy of the Joe Garagiola World Series scorebook at participating dealers. Pee Wee, this ball game was decided actually with 1 fell swoop. Carl Yazstrzemski led off the 4th inning in a 0-0 ball game and lined one into the right field corner, a 387-foot home run, and as it turned out, that was all the Red Sox needed. They picked up another run in the 7th with 2 walks, an error by Shannon, an excusable error, by the way, the ball was hit hard, and a sacrifice fly by Petroselli. And then in the 7th, after Carnival had walked and Dalton Jones had singled, Joe Horner, a left-hander, came in to pitch to Yazstrzemski. And once again, Carl lined one, this time high and deep into the right center field stand. So he proved today, Pee Wee, in case anybody questioned it, that he can hit a home run off a right-hander and he can hit a home run off a left-hander.
He certainly did. And another thing, Harry, about this game, you could see that Jim Lonborg meant business today. The first hitter, Lou Brock, that walked up there, he got 4 hits yesterday. Now, you can call that purpose pitch or a little brushback or whatever you want, but you and I know that he was telling the Cardinals and Lou Brock that I mean business, and you better look out. And he meant business all day.
You know, as the Cardinals head for St. Louis, Pee Wee, I think they might consider themselves fortunate to be even up in the series, 1 game apiece. I say that for this reason. Their middle hitters, Maris, Cepeda, and McCarver, who do most of the damage, have been held by the Red Sox to 1 lone hit in 20 times at bat in these 2 games. A single by Maris is all in 20 trips to the plate combined between Maris, Cepeda, and McCarver, the very heart of the Cardinal batting order.
Yes, sir. And, you know, Cepeda, of course, Maris hit in the 2 runs yesterday, but they were with little weak ground balls. Well, one up wasn't too weak, but they were ground balls. But Cepeda, he has gone 0 for 7. And as you say that they're very fortunate, but I think that you better watch for this big bull now, because he may come on a little strong when he gets back in his home park.
I don't think there's much question of that at all.
How about this St. Louis park? Is it going to make any difference?
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to make too much difference to Yazstrzemski. The balls he hit out here today, for example, would have been home runs in St. Louis. The ball maybe doesn't carry quite as well as it does here at Fenway. But it'll be interesting. The Cardinals, so many of them, Pee Wee, saw Fenway Park for the first time, let alone playing it. It's the first time they ever installed the building. And I know many of the Red Sox now, the same way, will be seeing Bush Memorial Stadium for the first time, let alone playing in it for the first time. So, with the series all tied up 1-1, it's an interesting note to come into St. Louis on as the series resumes Saturday afternoon at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. This broadcast was authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and account of this game without the express consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. Final score again, the Red Sox 5, the Cardinals nothing. The series tied up at a game apiece. The hitting star today, Carl Yazstrzemski, with 3 out of 4, driving in 4 runs, scoring 2. Pee Wee, I just want to say, too, I'll be on TV down in St. Louis with our buddy Kurt Gowdy starting Saturday for the next 3 games. What a real pleasure it was and a privilege for me to work with you. We've known each other for a long time. I've broadcast many games that you played in, and it was good to have a chance to rub elbows with you up here in the broadcasting booth.
Thank you very much, Harry. Very good luck to you on television. And if we come back to Boston, I'll see you here.
Very good. That wraps up the second game of the 1967 World Series. Be with us again Saturday from St. Louis for the third game of the World Series, when your host again will be the new Gillette stainless steel blade, the Spoiler Camel cigarette with that famous Walk a Mile flavor. B.F. Goodrich, the straight top tire people. And Chrysler Corporation, makers of Plymouth, Dodge, Chrysler, Imperial, and Dodge trucks. The final score once again in the second game of the World Series here at Fenway Park in Boston was the Red Sox 5, the Cardinals nothing. Now this is Harry Caray with Pee Wee Reese saying thanks for being with us. This has been an NBC Radio Network production.